Stop torture, protect human rights, fight human rights abuse. This is the headline on the official Amnesty International website. Amnesty International is a global movement of more than 10 million people who take injustice personally. They are campaigning for a world where human rights are enjoyed by all. Let's first examine the history and come up of Amnesty International into what they are today. They are funded by members and people like you. They are independent of any political ideology, economic interest, or religion. No government is beyond scrutiny, no situation is beyond hope. Few would have predicted that when they started, those assailants would become international outlaws, that most countries would abolish the death penalty, and seemingly untouchable dictators would be made to answer for their crimes. It all started in 1961 when British lawyer Peter Benison was outraged when 2 Portuguese students were jailed just for raising a toast of freedom. He wrote an article in the Observer newspaper and launched a campaign that provoked an incredible response. Reprinted in newspapers across the world, his call to action sparked the idea that people everywhere can unite in solidarity for justice and freedom. This inspiring moment didn't just give birth to an extraordinary movement, it was the start of an extraordinary social change. Over the years, human rights have become from the fringes to the center stage in world affairs. Amnesty has grown from seeking the release of political prisoners to upholding the whole spectrum of human rights. Now that we understand where they're coming from, let's dive into the issues they are fighting for and against. Amnesty International has many different pressing issues they take it upon themselves to try and minimize or fully put an end to. This varies from armed conflicts to arms control to child rights to climate change and many other pressing issues. Numerous armed conflicts are currently taking place around the world, including those involving warring parties within single state and those involving armed forces from 2 or more states. Amnesty International documents and campaigns against violations of international law during armed conflicts, regardless of who the perpetrator is or where the abuse occurs. Amnesty International abides by their causes by something that's called the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document that acts like a global roadmap for freedom and equality, protecting the rights of every individual, everywhere. It was the first time countries agreed on the freedoms and rights they deserve, universal protection in order for every individual to live their lives freely. For the first time, the world had globally agreed on a document that marked out all humans as being free and equal, regardless of sex, color, creed, religion, or other characteristics. Now that we know who and what Amnesty International is, let's talk about how we can help. Sign a petition, volunteer for them, become a member. Whatever you can do, take action today and be a part of a global movement standing together for human rights across the world. Amnesty supporters making the world a fairer place. Because of the actions of individuals, lives have been saved, unfair laws have changed, the wrongfully imprisoned have been released, and there's copious amounts of ways on the official Amnesty International website. Across their global offices, we frequently have volunteer opportunities. They now have over 100 volunteers that support their work and make significant contributions to the organizations throughout their time with them. Volunteers are a valuable asset to the organization, and their efforts have helped to shape the Amnesty movement into what it is today. If you desire to donate your time to Amnesty Foreign, you may be requested to help us in duties such as monitoring the international press, translating, and doing research, interacting with online communities, obtaining funding our human rights education, human resources, and accounting programs that would lead you to experience the work that they do on a daily basis. Volunteers are generally recruited on a part-time basis for up to 6 months. Each vacancy will include further details on the requirements of the placement if you were to join Amnesty or help in any cause. In conclusion, Amnesty International is pivotal in bringing attention and information about these certain issues, as well as the ability to help in any way you can. And if you can help, this is a great organization, I believe, that is doing a lot of good for a lot of good people. Funding or helping for human rights education, human resources, and accounting programs, such as yourself, could help save lives.